Look. Oh, snap. Check out the countdown. Oh, snap. That means ropes is going down. Let's get it. A machine that should be seen in wrestling, and she's ready for that, telling the world about her breakout in Ring Wars Carolina. Wrestling fans, the ropes welcomes Audrey Allen. Get out of her way because she is live on Off the Top Rope Wednesday afternoon live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Watch this episode because it is going to be muscling and as well as, and always, sizzling.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Every chance you get to hear us, you clear us. It's the time on the radio.
What is up, everybody? Of course, you know it's Wednesday. You know what's going down, of course. And talking about the word being down, just like her opponents, because she superplexes them, she power bombs them, she has all the power. And we know why she has the power, because she is the reigning, of course, Ring Wars Carolina champion, women's champion. Let's welcome Audrey Allen to the show. Audrey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Happy to be here.
You know, I got to say, you know, you first and foremost, you were doing big things. First, you know, before we got talking about the show, you just starting out, in the business, and it has to be like that thought, like, man, I'm a professional wrestler. Like, is that like, it must be like a feeling of like bubbles, excitement. Like, how does that feel?
It's wild because I would have never in my life imagined that I'd be here. And now I am, because some random guy at my gym told me that I looked like I should be a wrestler. So here we are.
Here we are. So, and that's the thing. Have you probably get asked this question so many times, like, do you have that background of growing up being a wrestling fan?
Never. I never watched wrestling. The only little bit of wrestling, even anything I had, was when Glow came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I've never, I never watched wrestling. I didn't grow up with it or anything. I just happened into it, and I'm so thankful that I did, because I absolutely love it. But yeah, it's
well,
been an interesting ride.
Audrey, that's the thing about, it can be stories about people who never been fans, and they turn out to be like some of the greatest wrestlers ever. And I'm sure when it's all said and done, you retire, you're going to be on that list. So, but I think it's a cool story, and that, I can tell now by watching your videos, following you on social media, that you're a force to be reckoned with, and your opponents, I would hate to be them. So keep doing what you're doing, because I like what you got going on in the wrestling ring. Now, for what you've been doing, like here on Off the Top Rope, Audrey, we promote big. So tell promoters and tell fans why. We're going to start with promoters first. Tell promoters why they should book you on their show, and why fans should buy an Audrey Allen t-shirt.
I don't even have merch yet, so working on that part. But I bring the power. I've always been a gym rat, and so I got the muscle already on me, and now I have something to work towards, it's just getting even more and more, which is great. But I love this business. I love the community that it's brought me, and because when I got out of the military, I was kind of in that lost zone. And so now that I have like this amazing group of people that I get to train with and work with, it's like, I just love it. And so I've been reaching out more and trying to go more places to kind of meet more people and see all that this community has to offer. So I'm just stoked to be here, honestly.
Stoked. I just say, get her done. And and Audrey, you said the key thing about wrestling being a community, because it seems like that would be hard in wrestling, because people backstab and this person wants to be on the top. It's just like I guess it depends on, you can answer this for me. I guess it depends on where you go to find people who aren't going to backstab you. I mean, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like any other job out there where there's obviously a ladder, there's different companies that everybody's trying to go to, right? And especially on the indies, it's kind of everybody trying to look for their one shot at that. But I always find that in those situations, it's more likely that somebody is going to get it if we all kind of hold hands and take each other up instead of trying to shoot somebody down to get on that higher rung.
Yeah.
And I think that depending on the promotions, obviously, I ended up at Ring Wars, and I'm so thankful because it's such a dope group of people, and they all seem genuinely happy for like everyone else getting their opportunities, getting the shows, the bookings, the whatever. And it's just super supportive, which is great.
And for you, just, really making a name for yourself, you just starting out, it seems like, they're not taking advantage of you. They're helping you because, I mean, some promotions may say, well, this person is starting out, we may want to take their money or, kind of get over on them. And it's really cool that you found, of course, Ring, Wars Carolina, them helping you and doing what you're doing. And hey, it's just a really cool thing. In your story, I think people are going to take notice of what you've done, being in the Navy and so forth. And, here you are, a pro wrestler and actually being a champion. So, yeah, and we'll talk about that later on, too. Being their women's world heavyweight champion, I know was also a blessing, from God as well. Now, when you take a step back, you look into when you stepped, into the world of pro wrestling, like, what was your first impression from like training and just like what you expected, like the pro wrestling world to be like? And I'm sure people told you this how it's going to be. Like, what were your first like interpretations? Like, man, I don't know, or like, you know what, I'm just going to get up in this and just see what happens.
Because I didn't really have anything to base it off of, I kind of came in with a blank slate, which was really nice. And so the guy that invited me from the gym to go check it out, he's like, no pressure. You can watch in on one of our practices, see how it is, see if you like it or are interested. And so it was very kind of like relaxed. I'm naturally a very shy person. I know I don't look like it, but so I was very nervous and very like, okay, I don't know any of these people. I don't even know this one guy. I literally have seen him a couple of times at the gym. That's about it. And so it was kind of nerve-wracking at first, but I went to that first initial practice to kind of see if I liked it, see what was up. And everyone just immediately welcomed me with open arms. Like, it was just so, like, you immediately felt part of it. And so it was very like, yeah, this sounds great. Like, I'll do this. I've always played sports. I've always done all these other things. I'm like, I think I could handle the physicality of it. I think I can handle all this other stuff. The only stuff that I'm worried about is the talking and the being in front of people part, which I've grown exponentially over the last like 6-7 months that I've been doing this. So
nice.
It's wild.
Now, when you said, like I said, you said at first being shy around people, which exactly, you don't strike me as a type. I mean, you strike me as a type where, come here, I'll jack you up, but that's a compliment. Like when when was that time you can go back and remember you did a promo and you were like, you kind of got over that hill of like, being comfortable and saying, you know what, I'm going to do this shit next time?
I would probably say I went to a Dr. Tom Pritchard seminar, and he, especially in the seminars, is very like grounded. He's kind of monotone at some points, but like he doesn't talk down to you. He doesn't make you feel like an idiot or anything. But he explains it in ways of like how to tell a story and how to do this and that it finally clicked when I went there. And so now it's still a little bit difficult, to be honest, to do anything really long. But just being able to know like, okay, I can do this. And here's this kind of formula that I can use to help me like get over and put these things over, has been amazing. And I've gone to a couple of his seminars now, and every time I pull away a million different nuggets of just wrestling in general, promos, everything.
But Audrey, it seems like too that he has seen that you went to his first seminar, and you said you're definitely gonna go to a second seminar, and how the pro wrestling world is huge with networking, emails. You can reach out to people. He probably sees that. She's hungry. He's like a good networking source for you. I mean, if you want to go to any promotions that he knows, I'm sure he runs his own promotions. So you're opening up your resume by that he sees that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm even hoping to go to, because he runs the Jacobs Pritchard Wrestling Academy, JPWA.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to that at the end of this year,
Yeah.
just to give me a solid few months of just like beating wrestling into me.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, hammering the basics, hammering all this stuff that like I have a grasp on now, obviously, but just to kind of like beat it until it's solid.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the thing about it is I ask a lot of my guests on the show this all the time. So I definitely got to ask you, social media, how has that helped you? I mean, because I saw your website, you got your email, Instagram, Facebook. How much does that help you? Because now it's like, well, I got to send a letter to this school. Like you have it like right here in your hands that you can just reach out to people. So it's like right there.
Yeah, it's social media is important, and so I run my own business on the side. I do graphic design and illustration. So I do websites for clients and other stuff for clients all the time. And so naturally I was like, gotta do that for my wrestling gig here. Like, gotta put stuff together. That way somebody has like a one-stop shop of where to go to reach me, to see all my stuff. And I finally got that together to have like, here's all my matches. Here's everything that you can find about me all in one little spot. And also engaging with people on social media. Like obviously my two favorites are Instagram and Facebook. I'm also on TikTok, but it's not wrestling specific. It's just kind of me, and it's been that way. It's kind of fun. But getting to meet people that way, and then getting to meet them in person, because you're like, oh, wait, you're in this area? I'm headed out to this area. And so it just like, the networking becomes so much easier and broader, because now, I mean, I met people like you. I've met other wrestlers and other, like, just all sorts of different promotions I reach out. And it's just like, I would have never found them had I not been on any social media or anything like that.
I always say on the ropes, it's like a ropes buffet. It's like a buffet of promoters, and you even email the wrestlers, say, hey, you want to work a match? It's like the off the top rope buffet. And hey, the buffet is for you to eat. And I'm going to say this today here on this Wednesday afternoon. If you're at work at the microwave, heating up your food, and you're saying, damn, this food's good, also good this afternoon episode of Off the Top Rope, because my live guest, of course, she is Ring Wars Carolina Women's Champion. Audrey Allen is on the show. So check out the show, because if you want to ask her a comment, leave it on the box. I'll read it on the air, because she is live this afternoon. Now, Audrey, of course, you of all people love fitness. You take pride in your body. You're just killing it. You're like prime time in the game. So I want to show this clip for you as well. Now, I call this Instagram Indeed. You're saying is you should really quote this. You say, "Get up, do it. Hey, thank me later." Now, have you ever considered to spread this, as a trend? Because this looks like it really can help out people and promote health, because we only live once. I mean, has this really called on to that saying? Because I love this, so that's why I wanted to share it with you.
I honestly that's just how I live my life, and how I've just kind of like, it's funny that you even brought that up, because I never even thought of that as like a thing. it just came out of my mouth, type, and call it a day. So it's kind of funny, but yeah, I definitely, I started into it a while back, and I just loved being just strong as hell, because why not? I mean, I'm literally renovating my own kitchen and installing cabinets and stuff by myself. Like, being able to do that is just so empowering and awesome, and it just is great.
It's like the one thing, like when you take, like, I'm sure it's probably crazy about, sure, like I said, anybody, you can say, 'cause you're a pro wrestler, anybody can lift weights, but how is it from lifting weights to going in that ring? 'Cause I'm sure it's a totally different thing.
Yeah, it's been an interesting time trying to figure out how to optimize me in the gym to where it translates over into the ring. Whether it's, I mean, I keep some like just powerlifting stuff in there because, like, man, I love being able to deadlift however many pounds. But then also adding in aspects of athleticism and different like calisthenic stuff where it's like you got to keep your endurance up to be able to run ropes, do this, do that. You're throwing people in the air. You're doing, you know, all these different things that normally that's not what you're programming a workout for.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting trying to like transition how I used to perform in the gym to now and trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. But it's kind of been fun. It's just, it's different.
Now, have you experienced any new? Of course, like I said, doing your weights and all that. Have you experienced any new workouts? Like, damn, like this is helping. I'm gonna take this and like, put it underneath my umbrella, or it's like still whatever's doing for you that's working. I'm gonna just stay to it. Why break it?
It's a little bit of both. I definitely have added more cardio in because that's not my favorite thing in the world. But I definitely added more in just to get my, like, you got to get your lungs in it. You got to get all this other stuff that you don't think of like, okay, I need to be able to sustain this. And it's not just pick this up, put it down. It's pick this up, run with it, throw it down. And so it's, I mean, I definitely have done some other things like different boot camps and stuff that have kicked my butt. But I'm like so glad that I do them because every time I do them, I'm like, okay, I need to do more of this. So
But
I start adding in things here and there.
It sounds like it's going to help you because you never know. It may help you on later on. Like if that makes sense, like if because nobody wants to get injured. I don't want to see nobody get injured. It's like, it could save you from an injury in the future. So it's like thank God did that, and that really and that helps. So like I said, I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing because that's why you are, of course, like I said, the RWC champion. And keep doing what you're doing. Now, one thing I want to talk. We'll talk about RWC later on, but one thing I want to comment what they're doing. Wrestling, you see people do the shows at the big venues, wherever. I love that they do them outside. It could be at a fair or something. How intimate is that with the fans? Because I actually love it. Like, I mean, it's how what's the feeling? Because the people are right there with you, and they give you that juice. The fans go in the ring and kick ass.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it gets looked down on to be doing these like different like fairs and stuff like that. But I love it because the fans are so much more engaged. And I've found that like when we're at our hometown in Lumberton, we're at the Priscilla Arena, there's, a gate and then a bunch of chairs and they're all sitting there. And sometimes they're really engaged. Sometimes it's like, you can't do anything to get them to want to participate. Whereas when you're at a fair or an event like that, people are literally walking right up to the ring. I'm getting choked out on ropes and like reaching out and they're grabbing my hand, and you're like,
there you go.
Yeah. And there's some of the most like crazy ones. And plus you get all the little kids there. Oh my gosh. And they're great because they're just all about it.
I noticed too, North Carolina seems like a really, the down south. I mean, you think of North Carolina, you think of like Ric Flair when he was coming up doing this thing, the territory days. It seems like North Carolina, they love their wrestling. I mean, like, it seems like they really, you would know, but like, it's like, man, they really care down there.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrestling in North Carolina. And the more I travel out of it, the more I realize how much is actually here. Because of like, I mean, there's a million different promotions. There's a million different venues. It's like there's stuff going on every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now, if you had to pick, this is just random off the top of my head. If you had to pick which state you would love to go to next, I mean, there's so much out there. It's like I said, I mean, North Carolina's your thing, but you got like, Rudy, you could just Rhode Island. That's Kim talking about Rhode Island and. It's so many, like,
yeah.
It's so many I can't even think of them. But but like you said, once you, like I said, you're doing, I guess, the good thing about, like I said, doing North Carolina and then branch your way out. And it'll just take yourself from there and just work yourself out of North Carolina as well. Like I said, definitely one day, because I grew up in the area, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. That's they love their wrestling in Philadelphia. So, but now this next clip is that I love this because your opponents, probably black or blue, when they saw this. So this definitely shows.
Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
Now the question is, out of that clip, who probably is your most favorite opponent to throw around in the ring? You're throwing a lot of people around in that clip.
The most fun to me was Nina O'Ryan. She's definitely, I mean, I tower over her. So it was just so much fun to just kind of whip her around and just, I mean, I could toss her. But the more challenging ones would be like Amanda Kiss. I love wrestling her because we're kind of, I mean, I have a little bit of muscle, slightly more height, but we're pretty even. And so getting to kind of like power back at each other is awesome to have as well.
And like, I would think that I did watch y'all's couple of y'all's matches on your YouTube page. Check out, of course, like Audrey's YouTube page too as well. Like y'all are going at it. I mean, I think like I could tell you love to have that opponent where freaking like let's slug it out. Like ain't no tickling here. So definitely just lay them into me. So I figure you would like that clip. So, but now one thing, if you could finish this sentence for me, definitely finish this for me. This question would be: Can you pretty much for me? What did wrestling change like about you? Because it's not easy. It's not for everyone. What's one thing about it that you had to adapt to and maybe like tweak or something?
Definitely interacting with a crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would have asked me even 8 or 9 months ago, if I saw myself performing in front of people and interacting with them, I would have been like, you're on something, because ain't no way. And so even just in this little bit of time that I've been doing it, I mean, exponentially grown in the being able to use my athleticism while also performing, while also interacting with a crowd. I mean, it blows my mind sometimes when I look at how far I've come.
Well, I think that have you been told the old saying? I mean, a lot of people have told me, in the business, a lot of my guests on the show, like just be yourself. But I'm sure a lot of other people watch movies and tapes to try to get something to add more to their character. But I can tell you're being you, just throwing people around. But you're doing it in a way that can attract the fans. Like you're like doing it in a creative way. If that makes sense. I mean, you just can't go out there and just be like, but you're doing it in a creative way. And look where you are. You must be doing something right. So, I mean, I can go out there and do it. So,
yeah, I don't know why, but people tend to like me, which is really cool.
First time I saw you in the ring, I was like, man, I would not mess with her. Like I said, it don't matter. Like I said, the one thing that I think you should do, I think it's the indies, they do it. But one thing I think you should really do is really, intergender wrestling. I think you would dominate and just really kick some ass. And like I said, you got the whole world ahead of you. I mean, it's just like I even get goosebumps. You got like so much ahead of you, and I can't wait to see what's in store for the RWC champion, the Audrey Allen. Now we've been talking about all day RWC. And like I said, you are their champion, and boom, we got to go right to it. Of course, now you, what made you step through their doors, to get your start? Because they must be doing something right with all the talent they got. They're doing their thing in North Carolina. Like what is about them that it's like, man, I got to go here.
I mean, at first, It was literally because I don't know if you've seen Xander Keys, but he's the one that saw me at the gym and was like, "You have the look, you have everything." I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." But he was just so nice and kind of like, I was at this point in my life where I was trying to figure out what I was doing. I moved here, didn't know anybody, and so it was just kind of that like, I need to figure out something. I need to figure out a sense of community where I kind of belong, something. And it was that first day that I walked in there and everyone just instantaneously was just my friend. And it was very just super welcoming. And there wasn't any like, cattiness or any kind of thing like that, where I've always been nervous about working with other females in a male dominated world. Because most of my jobs that I've had have been that way, and you either are best friends or just mortal enemies and it doesn't work out. But like every woman that was there was just instantly super nice and like, we're gonna crush this together and be awesome. And it's like, this is an amazing environment.
And that's a cool thing too, that, that's like, you got the RWC, like I said, Ring Wars, Carolina, man, who runs it all, to see that in you at the gym, like you're just doing your thing, pumping and, being the best you can be, which you are. And look where you are, being, the champ. And you said they have embraced you as one of their own, as family. And it's a really, really cool story at how it's really transpired. And, including you and them, the events you guys are going to be doing, coming up. I mean, it's going to be something special. And I can't wait, for what you guys do as well. And speaking of which, hey, May 28th, boom. This date quite well because we got to put it up there. You run that women's division, and Audrey, you got to just tell us about this moment because you beat Amanda Kiss with the belt. It was Sunday, May 28th. It was at Slam. I mean, I can't speak for you, so you got to let us know, what was your feeling when you won that belt?
It was kind of a wild moment of like sort of imposter syndrome where it's like, do I even deserve this? But at the same time, it's like, I've worked really hard to get here. And me and Amanda have been going at it. And finally, the fruits of your labor come to fruition there. It's like, I've been disqualified. I've hit her over with a wrench a few times. And finally being able to get over just nice and clean. It was great. It was like just so many mixed emotions of nervousness of what do I do with this thing? And also like just excitement of holy cow, like I'm here.
Now you, of course, getting the belt off of her, beating her, that means, when somebody loses their belt, they're never happy. So do you really think that's the end, or this feud is far from over because you and her, there's no love lost between there? Do you think this feud is far from over?
I think it is far from over. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of each other. Just because it was, I mean, neither of us had the belt. Like when going into that, it was this newly introduced belt, and it was kind of like, okay, it's you or me, buddy. We're going at this.
We got a comment on there. Somebody threw a comment there. So.
Thank you. But yeah, it's very like, that first initial win kind of helped set the tone, I think. So I think she'll be back to try and get it from me, but we'll just have to see,
It sounds like too, like, RWC, their women's division is growing, and I mean, it's still open. I mean, I'm pretty sure like there's going to be so many women coming in that division for appearances and just, who are already there and just going to take their game like yours up to another level. So, I mean, as a champion, I know you're worried first and foremost. You're not worried, but you got that bullseye on your back, but you're not scared because, hey, I want all challengers. So that's what you do. So, I mean, you got to be like foaming out the mouth, like, yeah, I'm going to take on whoever's next. So it's going to be interesting to see, your title defense and who you throw around that RWC ring next. And I'm excited for that. So, Audrey, this is your first time on Off the Top Rope. Mm-hmm. And when you come on the ropes, I got to stomp you. This is in a good way. So you ready for the next segment?
Ready.
All right, here we go.
Damn, Ty. That's good.
Here we go. All right, the question is, of course, the champ gets her choosing. Now, of course, RWC, they bring in a surprise talent to face you in a North Carolina, of course, street fight. Now, how would you create the match? Any way you want to do it. Who would you face? Can be anybody.
Ooh. There's just so many good women wrestlers that now that I've been in this kind of scouting out and really hoping to get a chance at. A couple of my favorites that are probably on the more attainable side currently would be Caitlin Marie. She's another big powerhouse of a girl. Like I think that would be a really good match. I think it would be really challenging. And also Freya the Slayer. She is tall and like she's not, skinny. She's a like built girl. So I like a challenge. And both of those women, they put in the work and they're doing amazing things. So I'd love to get in the ring with either of them.
Yeah. Now, what will be, since it's be a North Carolina street fight for like Ring Wars Carolina, what would be your already made up weapon, or would you create a weapon where the fans be like, oh, that's a cool idea, or you would just go just normal trash cans, barbed wire?
I don't know. I mean, I'd obviously have to bring my wrench because that's an Audrey Allen staple. But I don't know. I've never really thought about anything like that before because I haven't had a match like that before. Yeah. So I wouldn't really know. I don't think I'd do anything crazy to at least my first one.
Yeah.
But then I feel like once I got the feel for it, I think I would be able to be more creative and like, okay, I could do this next time. I could do this next time.
Well, that happens. You get to that point, just say, damn, I think my off the top rope and tie. So I got to, come up with something crazy, for them and the fans. So, but like I said, for that question, you get an A+. And like I said, I'm glad you like that segment. So you did good. You did good.
Thank you.
Now, Audrey, you being a champion, I want you to slam and promote what you got to come up next of course, Ring Wars Carolina, July 8th, something coming up. I mean, what's up next for you? Hey, slam and promote away.
So I am actually not going to be at that show because I'm headed down to Florida for 2 months and hoping to train down there. I got a couple of bookings coming up that I'm not 100% sure on, especially in July. But my first show back with RWC is probably going to be the September. Oh shoot, what is it? I think it's like the 2nd or the 4th or something like that. That first Saturday, and the one after that, I actually have UPW on September 9th. I think that's the date off the top of my head, but that's probably my biggest booking to date, and I'm very excited about it. So yeah, it's a lot going on in the next couple months for me.
Yeah, like I said, you're gonna be like Florida next 2 months training, and like I said, because Florida has a lot of pro wrestling too. So I mean, you're also from North Carolina to Florida. You mean another really busy state of wrestling, doing your thing, and like I said, brushing up. You have your belt with you, and hey, you're so busy. But when you're busy in wrestling, hey, it equals opportunities and accomplishments like what you're doing now. So, and definitely proud of you here on Off the Top Rope, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Now, Audrey, the one question before we leave the show is from 1 to 10. Would you ever come back on Off the Top Rope again?
Oh yeah, 10 out of 10.
Well, I would thank you very much for coming on the show, and like I said, God bless. Keep doing what you're doing, and hey, keep defending that title, and keep throwing people around in that ring.
I will. You can count on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you watched Off the Top Rope this afternoon, the ropes look at one of the best up-and-coming talented wrestlers today. She was, of course, from Ring Wars Carolina, their women's champion, Audrey Allen. She was my guest here on Off the Top Rope Wednesday afternoon. I'm your boy, Ty Asbury. Give Audrey Allen a round of applause. I'm your boy, Ty Asbury. Everybody, have a great Wednesday. Have a good one.
The Ropes Media. Tyrod Nasbury. Yeah.